Wake.Show. As everybody knows, the show needs an intro. And this is that intro. I am Fisher, your host, featuring Chris McCarty. What are we all going to do now that there is world peace? Party! Welcome to the new age, everybody. World peace, peace on earth and goodwill towards men. So all is good. All is well in the world. Let's bring in our sponsor for the first 15 minutes, and that is Single Source Insurance. Thank you so much, Single Source. And by the way, Chris, I came up with a way to use our Single Source guy.
How?
Well, he gives a thumbs up. So anytime there's a good comment made, then what I'll do is I'll keep him off the screen, and when there's a good comment, made by somebody in the comment section,
that's really cool.
Well, you get a thumbs up from him. Awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, featuring Chris McCarty on the old 8-string, 6-string, 10-string, 15, 4. It's a ukulele.
I gotta get away. 'Cause you come in for me, I can't get away this time. And suddenly I'm feeling lonely, and that's when it starts changing my mind. I know you're not good for me. I'm running all the time. I can say go away, standing in my way, messing with my mind. So please, leave me alone. Why don't you leave me alone? Won't you leave me alone, please? Leave me alone, run away. I might be crazy, but I think I see. I ain't really made a mess of things, misplacing things, messing up my dreams. Take me from my family, I gotta find a way to rid myself of you. Tell me what I'm gonna do, I gotta find a way to rid myself of you. Tell me what I'm gonna do, I know you're not good for me. I'm running all the time. I can say go away, standing in the way, messing with my mind. So please, leave me alone. Why don't you leave me alone? Why won't you leave me alone, please? Leave me alone, run away. Please, leave me alone. Why don't you leave me alone? Why won't you leave me alone, please? Leave me alone. Got place to go, I got people to see. Stronger than you'll ever be. I got place to go, I got people to see. Stronger than you'll ever be. I know you're not good for me. I'm running all the time. I can say go away, standing in the way, messing with my mind. Please, leave me alone. Why don't you leave me alone? Why won't you leave me alone, please? Leave me alone, run away. Please, leave me alone. Why don't you leave me alone? Why won't you leave me alone? Leave me alone. Yo.
All right. Getting fancy with the technology in here
you see it?
today. Hey, how's everybody doing? All right, we'll turn that off now. And welcome back to the Wake.Show. Good morning, everybody. You know what? I'd like to give myself a Single Source thumbs up for... I'm going to give myself a thumbs up for finally figuring out the Memo call situation, which was not that difficult, and put that thing together. I am excited, though. Good morning, Ian and Carson and Elliot, Adam. Well, I guess no one's. Maybe we should save this for a little bit later here. But we also knew that there was a way. Hold on a second here. Let's do this and this. Whoop! What did I do? Check, check, check. There we go. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to figure this stuff out. All right. So yeah, because I looked that way, you looked that. Okay. So that's where we need to be. Then that looks good.
Right,
we'll do a little adjusting of me here to get the logos. All right. Perfect. So yesterday, obviously, we incorporated the very fancy technology known as the split screen to the show. Are you coming through over there? Are you hearing yourself?
No. I'm. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Hang on.
And so, Carson, there is an echo on your mic.
My mic?
I should have taken. I think I've taken that off. It should be because I had a little reverb on.
I like it. A little wetness.
All right, here we go.
Get me wet.
Is it this? Check, check, check.
Yeah, far out, bro. Are you on your medicine today? Because that might really be cool for you.
It doesn't. See, remember, I'm crazy, so it doesn't have that effect. It's not like a normal person. Remember back when I was on Adderall years ago, exploring adult ADD.
Right.
I took Adderall for 3 months, and like I said, I would take naps in the afternoon. But if you're a normal person, it's going to
What's
Thank
normal?
you.
What is normal?
Okay.
Thank you.
I get. You're right. But I guess what they mean by that is. I don't know. Somebody with a different brain is all. The average person.
Are you saying that average people don't take naps?
Well, the average.
Then I'm normal. I'm like you because I take naps, brother.
Well, the average person, if they're taking Adderall, it would be like taking cocaine. You go, you're like, you can party all night long, kind of thing. So, but with somebody like me, and I suspect possibly you too. We take Adderall, and it has that focus. It focuses us. It kind of gets us into the zone of focusing and getting stuff done.
I was trying to find some focus. When I had the kids, I was just wanting to be more on it, and so I did something, and man, I felt like it made me angry. I'm like, this is not a good thing for me, so I got off that.
I'm with you, man.
You got angry too.
I did.
I don't know. Does anyone else have you partaked in Adderall? And I don't know. I just felt. I just feel like. Maybe I'm made this way for a reason, so to focus. I get it. I feel like I'm a little bit better now, but it's part of being an artist and part of being spontaneous, and so I don't know.
When I was taking Adderall, I can't believe hey, and single source insurance, they're like, please don't thumbs up your drug talk. Listen, this is all through a doctor.
Mine too, therapist. Go get therapists.
The split screen makes it look like McCarty is admiring you when he smiles in your direction. It's very endearing.
I do admire my friend. Thank you. That's why I do this show, because I like to hear what he has to say.
So if I look, so I'll do the same.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you, brother, you.
Preach it, Chris. Preach it.
Come on, somebody. Let him use you.
But the same thing. I would get angry. I would get agitated. Towards the end of the
night, right?
Yep. I get agitated. I didn't like that.
Drug talk. It's a drug talk Wednesday.
But I could take a nap in the afternoon while I was still on it, and that's just not normal for people with different brains, I guess. But enough about Adderall.
Anyways, yeah.
About the other medicine that I'm on.
Hey.
Dear applicant. Let's see here.
Wait, I should play some music. Oh, I can't play the music.
Dear applicant. Your application for a medical marijuana use registry identification card has been approved, and your identification card is enclosed. Your identification card is valid for 1 year, as indicated on your card. To maintain an active identification card, you must submit a new application and fee to the Florida Department of Health no less than 45 days prior to your card expiration. Boy, they get you with the money left and right, don't they?
They really do.
It is because it's
not a game.
Yeah, you got to renew every year. You got to pay. You got to give them money. You got to renew every year. And let's see here. You will need to submit blah, 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 along with $15 replacement in the form of a check, blah, blah, blah. Name, change, and address, $15. Change, add, caregiver, $15. Request a replacement card, $15. All right. So I am legal.
It's just, wow.
I am legal as of, was it last week or the week before? I think it was. So, all right, we'll get to some things on the show today. I remember what I wanted to show you guys. This little and show you, Chris. I haven't showed you this yet. Ready for this fanciness here? Look at that.
Oh, you're fancy, huh?
Look at that.
Look at that.
Showing the screen there. I think I got to move it around because that That's working there. Where did it go? Okay, so it's there. And I think if I adjust this stuff here, see, I move it up and down, we can get more comments in there. Oh, zoom in on Adams.
I don't know if they're seeing that at home though.
Yeah, this is what they're seeing here. This is
oh, look at that.
Yeah. Okay. Are you watching on your phone? Or
I was trying to see it. I didn't see it.
All right. So when we want to go to the comment section now, all we have to do is hit that button, and it'll bring it up, and they can read along. And I mean, I guess if they're watching, they're looking directly at the comments, so it doesn't really matter. All right. Now off to
the races. So how are you feeling from yesterday's conversation? I don't know if anyone was here yesterday. We broached the subject of the politics of U.S. talking to North Korea.
Okay, good.
And I want to know how you're feeling about that. A lot of people were a little nervous, which understandably so. So I want to know how you are feeling.
Well, after our president landed and declared world peace, I mean, I'm good. I don't know how about everybody else feels, but you need to build a control panel. He does. He smiles when he's grabbing.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Come on now.
I'm sorry. President Trump declared on Wednesday that there was no longer. Let's see here. There was no longer a nuclear threat from North Korea, dubious claim following his summit with leader Kim Jong-un that produced no guarantees on how and when Pyongyang would disarm. Quote, so here's the tweet, you guys, if you want to look at your screen there, just landed, a long trip, but everybody can feel much safer the day I took I took office. There is no longer a nuclear threat from North Korea. Meeting with Kim Jong-un was an interesting and very positive experience. North Korea has great potential for the future. So I don't know. I know, Chris, you weren't watching this, this stuff yesterday on TV.
Nope.
Here we go, doing this.
I was playing with my babies.
From what is
so proud of that too.
Right out of this, right out of the gate here. It's I don't know. I really don't know.
I think this is what all right. I think in all relationships, you just have to believe someone until they prove otherwise. We all understand that once trust is gone in a relationship, it's difficult to believe and trust again. They have to earn their trust back. But in a situation we're talking about nuclear threat and all of this, man, I'm just going to believe him. I'm going to believe him. Because
you mean you take him at face value? And
I'm going to say this. There were no talks before. He was speaking. He's saying that the threat is gone. I'm just going to believe him, because if I don't, I'm going to be crazy for every day and wondering about my kids. So I'm just going to say, you know what? Threat is better. All right. And keep on moving and play with the kids and make this music and see you guys every day. That's all I can do. What did Elliot say?
He goes, I never even worried about North Korea until the day he took office.
Come on, Elliot. Come on, Elliot.
Touche, sir.
Hey. Man.
So
that is a check.
Now, independent experts say that the North could have enough fissile material for anywhere between about a dozen and 60 nuclear bombs. Last year, it tested long-range missiles that could reach we all know this, all this stuff here. And while Trump and Kim have signed a joint statement that contained a repeat of past promises to work towards a denuclearized Korean peninsula, the details have not been nailed down. So that's what I was gathering. Oh shoot! I'm sorry, everybody, for that little. Well, it actually looked all right. It looks like you were reading it from your desk there. So this is what I gathered yesterday, and that is we didn't really get much out of this on paper. It looks similar to what we already had established in the past, but then who knows where this goes from here? You draw the guy out, and then you draw the guy out, and then you make some moves. I don't know. Listen. We talked about this yesterday, Chris. We talked about it yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and so I'm good. We really don't know. We don't know anything today. We'll see how this plays out.
Yes.
I do know.
I love that. That's what I'm talking about. Wait and see. We'll wait till it plays out, man.
I do know.
Yes.
That did you see the clip? I should have it. But did you see the clip of Dennis Rodman crying?
No.
He's vindicated. All right. He feels vindicated after all of this. So he got
that
very
must have been
emotional.
hard for that guy.
Well, he said he got very emotional. He said that when he came back from visiting over there, and he was trying to, I don't know, connect the countries or whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
He said he just was vilified, and people were calling all kinds of names and a traitor and this and this and this. And so it's been something that's building up, and so he feels like he was the facilitator. He was the one that cracked the door open in order for this to be possible.
Of course, I would think the same thing if I was him. Just to feel like you got to make yourself feel okay in some ways. I mean, look, I don't know, man. We don't know what we do half the time. I don't know what anyone does. I can't. People have their own issues. You got to let them figure their own issues out, man. Dennis has a lot of stuff going on. So does Mr. President Trump. Everyone's got stuff to figure out, man. But we can talk about something new. What's the next
let's
topic?
do it. All right. Something that is kind of bittersweet, all right? And for the first time at the ESPYs are breaking tradition for this year's Best Coach Award. Did you happen to see this one, sir?
No.
It's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. It's bittersweet.
Okay.
But it is a very nice gesture that gave me goosebumps when I saw the headline this morning.
Okay.
They are breaking tradition for this year's Best Coach Award, awarding it posthumously to the 3 Florida high school coaches who died shielding their students from gunfire.
Wow.
Woo! Let's see. How deep are we in this show? All right, we are 16 minutes and 52 seconds into the show, and you're already drawing tears out of me. News of the day. You're already drawing tears.
Oh, you're crying? That's awesome, dude.
It's
good for you.
My eyes are sweating.
Listen, man, we have tear ducts for a reason. Use them. It's healing. It feels good. If that's what your soul is saying to do, your body's saying to do, just don't fight it. It's good.
All right, hold on. Speaking of fighting, Chris, Elliot, my good friend Elliot's now fighting with my uncle.
What? Oh, what are they saying? I want to know. What are they saying?
Let's go to the screenshot, ladies.
Let everybody see it.
Let's go to the screenshot. All right.
Shots fired. The day you have a chance that we can do this, and now everyone can see. This is awesome.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this.
So excited.
So here's the controversy here, and I'm still learning how. Oh, what? There we go.
But the Wednesday family members of the majority will receive the award during the show. The award has previously gone to coaches.
Wait. We're looking at the comments here.
I didn't. My bad.
Over here.
Oh, over here.
Yep.
Follow you.
All right. So Elliot goes, I didn't even worry about North Korea until the day he took office. Then my uncle John chimes in. He goes, such delusion, uncle. Repete. Sorry, that means respect in Spanish. I don't know why I said it that way. And let's see. Then where did it go? Okay, so they're up there. I want to be
just making a joke, but okay.
I know. And then so Elliot comes back with, all right, I'm losing stuff. I'm still figuring out my system over here, people.
Such delusion. And then Elliot says,
he goes, I was under the rock of competent leadership that didn't antagonize dictators to prove the size of his hands. Ooh. All right. You two quit fighting.
Ooh. And then what did your uncle say after that?
That's when he jumped in with such delusion. I got him out of order there.
Okay, gotcha.
I got messed up there. So, all right, enough about that. Let's get back to this ESPYs things because this is, like I said, a little sad but very sweet.
Yeah.
And that is
my bad to steal your thunder on that one.
No, that's all right. It's all right. The ESPN Network announced Wednesday the family members of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School heroes Aaron Feis, Scott Beagle, Chris Hickson will receive the award during the show on July 18th. The award has previously gone to coaches who have shown extraordinary leadership of their teams, not for heroism off the field. Oh, there we go again. Stupid news of the day. You get me every time.
I love it.
Previous recipients include Los Angeles Lakers coach Phil Jackson and New England Patriots coach Bill Belichick. ESPN's vice president said the men are being honored for their immeasurable bravery in the face of danger and for their ultimate sacrifice to protect the lives of countless students. But the thing is, Chris, when it comes to coaches, you and I both know, coaches are more than just. They're part of your life. They're part of your family.
Good coaches are.
They're part of your life, especially if you're going on in the high school level, and they're very involved in the kids' lives if they need to be. Here, I'm going to turn off some of the lights here so it doesn't reflect off my leaky eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm just playing with all kinds of new toys today. I'm sorry.
It's good, man.
I also I want to blame some of this on my medicine. I feel like maybe
I was thinking that too.
Because
a little more emotional.
Yeah.
But there's something wrong with that, man. Like, come on, this is good. I think it's good because it allows other people to be vulnerable, and vulnerable is true courage. So you're standing in front of a lot of people you don't know, and you are allowing yourself to feel these emotions. Whereas sometimes when I read the news and hear the news, the few times I do when I'm here, I don't connect as well as you are clearly connecting. So it is making me look at myself and be like, man, I really should understand that these people took their lives. Like, what would I do in the face of that danger?
Well, these kinds of stories get me every time, man. When these stories of bravery, of people going out of their way to help humans going out of the way to help out other species. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's not too many animals on the planet that will go out of the way to put their lives in danger to save another species, let alone their own species. You know, so we can get caught up a lot on. I think we don't take care of each other, but we're also we are a pretty special species too.
Yeah, this is proof that we are, and I'm glad they're doing that. That's good. I mean, because that does allow some healing for the families, and again, that awareness, just that we are together. Like I was talking about before, like we have to come together and not band apart. And so this is a moment where we could be talking about some individual who does well at their job, but doesn't necessarily mean they're a great human being. And now we're turning around to let's focus on good human beings. So I like it.
Chris,
like it a lot.
That comments get you a thumbs up from the Single Source Insurance man.
Thanks, guy.
No, they had a name for him, didn't they?
I don't.
Do you remember they called him Worldy, or what they call him? Globette? No, I don't remember what it was.
Globette.
Big Blue. And thank you once again to Single Source Insurance for being a part of the Wake.Show and sponsoring the first 15 minutes every single day. Make sure you give them a call for a quote. If you're sick and tired of dealing, you don't want to be treated like crap. When you might feel like you're saving a couple of dollars a month going with one of the big boys because that's what they specialize in, doing things in mass. But when it comes down to it, the customer service you get when you need it is where they separate themselves at Single Source Insurance. All right, so give them a call, get a quote from them, and get on board, and thank you so much. Globe Guy, Cord says. They call him Globe Guy.
Globe Guy. G squared, GG.
All right. So anyway, I wanted to bring up the story.
Quartz just knows everything, man. You notice that?
He does.
Jeez, I can't let this dude troposphere. Like, Quartz. That's awesome. Yep. But I'm glad he's on our side. I'm glad he's on our side.
I'm with you.
So if you're ever going to do like trivia, call Quartz up and bring him on with you.
But, going back to the coaches thing, and this is really cool for the SBs to do this. It's going to start controversy too. So now the NRA folk are going to look at this as a political maneuver by ESPN, and they're going to start...
Wait. Why are you even going that route?
I can't help it.
You just made an assumption that the NRA... You don't know this. Why are you going down the darkness?
Because... it just hit me. The darkness just came out of nowhere.
Okay, and now what's fair about that is, okay, now let me just stop and not say the darkness. What it was it's a simple contrast. What happens in, what is it? Chords will know this. But when one thing happens here that's equal and opposite, it happens at the same time. So it's not wrong for you to automatically, your brain just goes to, well, what could be from this? But let's go. What good could come from? Let's do this.
That's where this started. Remember, because I was like, oh my gosh, look how positive this is. I didn't visualize it. That's what happened, Chris. So then all of a sudden, as I'm talking now, I'm visualizing the ESPYs and that day and that being a great moment. Then all of a sudden, that other part of what's happening in America right now rushed into my head. I went, oh my gosh.
You do that. That's interesting. You do that a lot. You did it yesterday with our guest. She was talking about speaking boldly and about mastery. And then you were like, well, somewhere someone's thinking that. And I'm like, so I'm starting to know. I'm learning more about you, which is good. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. I'm just starting to understand now. It's good to see how your mind works. So I apologize for saying the darkness. Just the contrast. I apologize for that.
Yeah. Well, so that then I realize not everybody's going to see this as a positive in America. And everybody's going to go, oh wow, ESPN, man, that is really nice of you, because of how Parkland has become a hot button oven within itself, and has divided the country. There's still people out there that think that these kids are paid actors, and dichotomy. Cord said dichotomy. He said dichotomy. Was that
up
it?
And down, left, right. Yep. It's a dichotomy.
But don't ask him to spell it.
DICHOTEMY.
OMY. Close. Dichotomy. I'm not a speller either.
Right.
But good, hey, you took a stab on it live in front of the world, live in front of the universe. You took a stab at it. So what? Good job.
Being wrong, man, it happens a lot.
So anyway, to not only to the SBs, a good job on that one. That's pretty cool. Very cool. A cool gesture. But also to all the coaches out there across America. I know a lot of you are very ingrained in your communities and the kids that you help. And so hats off, because I know there are hundreds of tens of thousands of coaches in America who go underappreciated every single year.
Yeah, and kudos to all the coaches that don't make it about themselves. They really make it about the kids. I've been a part of, here comes the dichotomy, I've been a part of coaches who were really just into themselves and what they wanted and kind of didn't do this. You know, you watch them as a young kid, like my kids are always watching. So as young ones, you're watching how the coach treats the other kids, and when you get older and it's not the same, it can have an adverse effect of it, and so it just kind of leaves you kind of feeling.
Yeah,
I experienced that myself too. So kudos to all the coaches who really are thinking about the children and not just about winning.
And try to be Bill Belichick hovering over a bunch of 8-year-olds.
Like I remember. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. We'll go happy, positive stuff.
Oh, also my other medicine, Chris. Today I got my weekly injection.
Is that
this morning?
You did it this morning?
Yeah.
Is that testosterone?
That is testosterone.
It's not working. Booyah! Boo no.
Well done, sir.
We'll see how you are tomorrow. We'll see if it takes a
real man. A real man can cry in public.
Yeah,
and he does.
But I just wouldn't think the testosterone would bring the tears. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe I need to. Maybe I'm doing
the
this
dosage.
wrong.
Get on Adderall and that. See how it works. For those of you guys just joined us, we were talking earlier about Adderall, and Christopher and I both did Adderall at one point in our lives, and it made us both a little weird angry at the end of the night. So that's kind of what that joke is, so to bring you in.
If I look back, and this would have probably been a good idea. I'd have been just putting drug on top of drug, because I'm like, I wonder if I
stack.
Well, because back then I had not discovered the medical properties of marijuana yet. And so thinking, and I was like, looking back, I'm like, if I would have had marijuana as I was coming down off the, no, what am I doing? What am I doing? That's what's wrong with us right now. Did you see what I read this morning? I don't know if I did have it just in case we ventured into down this lane.
And here we are.
1 in 3 Americans.
Going down the lane.
1 in 3 Americans, 1 out of every 3 Americans are taking meds that have depressive side effects.
Alcohol has depressive side effects. That's true.
After, in those first couple of minutes, no.
So it is
but you're right, the side effects,
it's a downer. So that would too.
Marijuana?
Side effect?
I guess it can't.
Aren't you crying right now? I'm sorry.
That's why I'm taking the tea, Chris. That's why I'm taking the tea.
I'm stacking.
Do you know there was a time where I didn't cry.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't cry for the first time until my 30s, I think it was.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, maybe there was like once or twice.
No wonder. So it's like it's just kind of now coming out. Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think that was? Was your parents the kind of parents like, don't cry? Was that, or was like having a bunch of brothers and you guys are just all testosterone like?
I am the oldest brother. I will say, I think one of the interesting things about my childhood is my mom was very old school about that kind of stuff, so she never let us see her cry. Because I asked her once about it. I was like, Mom, I don't ever recall you crying. She goes, I never did it in front of anybody. I did it in the shower where it was proper.
Right. My mom, I probably only seen my mom cry like once or twice too.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So yeah, I don't know where.
Never seen my dad cry. No.
Yeah,
I'm just different breed, man. Different breed of men.
I saw him tear up, I think, a total of 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
One of them was when he almost killed one of my brothers when they were like 1, or not even. I don't even know if they were 1. And we take him to see family up in New York, right? And so my dad comes from a drinking family, so they're all drinking, and he starts feeding the babies watermelon chunks.
Oh.
Well, I guess one was a little too big to go down the old windpipe. So next thing you know, one of the little ones, one of my brothers starts choking. And I remember this, man. I remember this is funny too, that one of my mom's siblings is watching today. I remember my mom too flying into the kitchen, snatching up, I think it was Kenneth, does what she does, gets the food out of there. And as she's walking out of the kitchen, the look that she was.
They gave him the unit, boy.
Man. But the interesting part was, as everything set into my father, he realized, Yeah, I messed up in that moment, and I remember him tearing up as he realized he almost killed his own kid.
I think now that I remember, I remember seeing my dad tear up at his mom's funeral, which makes sense. I literally can think of the 2 other times that I saw my father. Okay, there's three other times. So the next time was when I left home. So I'm 21 years old or something like that, and I'm working. I'm packed up and I'm moving to Tallahassee, and that's it. Saw him tear up then. That was nice. Yeah. Well, look, and it's Is it Father's Day this coming weekend? It is. Yeah.
All right. So this is where the emotion. That Chris, this is spiritual. This is me and my dad's stuff. Since awesome. He's no longer with me.
Yeah, I know.
So that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's
great, dude. It's not okay.
It's not the lack of this.
No, and I'm not gonna. That's like a fear. I just I don't want to talk about it. Anyone who's had to say bye to their father, so that's a
Oh, I thought you were saying you have a fear of having low T.
No, I fear of losing my dad. And sometimes and it's funny being a father now. I'm like, my son. Look, my son and I, we're crazy close. And that's one thing that I think about sometimes. I'm like, man, it's going to be really rough when hopefully I pass away before he does. It'll be rough for him, man, because I'm his guy. That's my guy, too.
Oh.
It's as when I don't know, other parents probably think that sometimes, too. Like, just, you see how much they just adore you. My son just, Daddy was sleeping with me. Daddy was sleeping with me. Daddy, watch, Daddy, you're my best friend, Dad. Like,
oh my gosh.
Right, you remember we had an episode last week where I started tearing up talking about my kids.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to see me crying, that was like the most you'll get. Not really the most.
Elliot said, my son almost drowned. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me hit the button here.
Hit the button.
It was my son almost drowned at Adventure Island on Saturday. I didn't cry, but my legs were jello all day.
I'm sure.
Oh, my gosh. Jeez, I bet. Holy smokes, man. Well, I'm glad he's okay. So the next time my father cried, that I recall, when we were watching Cal Ripken trot around the field. You remember when? What record did he break? Was it most games played in a row?
Yeah, consecutive games.
Consecutive games in a row.
Yeah.
And so he came out and he jogged around the field and was high-fiving everybody. Both he and I are on the couch, I remember, tearing up. And then the very last time was after he'd had the surgery. He didn't have a face. He didn't have a nose, didn't have a mouth. And so all that was covered up. And when he had gotten back from the hospital, my brothers and I, some dear friends of ours, some even drove up from this area all the way to Ocoee, all came up to redo the yard because the yard looked like crap. We were like, we want him to come home. We cleaned things up. We fixed some things up. And our yard is like dirt, So we went out, we bought the sod, everybody laid it, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And when he was sitting out there and watching us finish up, he was crying, saying that he didn't deserve this.
Oh,
and that's one of those things that have stuck with me, since then. Because I'm like, Dad,
yes, you do.
You do, as evidenced by it happening to you. Right? You have people that you hardly know, that just know your sons that are here.
That's a humble
in the middle of the summer, laying down this sod, and people that don't even know you. So you deserve this, in one way. Holy crap, man! I've gotten all out of sorts today. Holy
me, man, because I was thinking about Ernest.
Yeah, you talk. I gotta go.
I hear you, man. When my bro passed, man, it was they did I'm trying. Ooh, jeez, I don't know. It's just today, I guess. I'm tired. I had a long night, and a lot of times this is what I hear when we're really tired. Just sometimes get emotional, but
yes.
He was in the middle of fixing his house, his dream house, and my brother, Ernest was a carpenter and he built homes and yeah, man, the town, everyone came together and they finished his house for his wife and his child. Like, that's how awesome he was. And just, man, you're about to get me right now.
Whoops.
It's all right. I think, sometimes we need to cry, I miss him a lot. That's and so my kids have seen me cry a lot. They've seen that when that happened. I couldn't hold it in.
Do you let yourself, because like old school, like talking about my mom, she wouldn't let herself cry in front of the kids. I guess that goes back to you always showed strength in public, no matter what.
I do now because I question that. I think
me too.
I want my children to know it's okay to cry. I want my children to understand why they have the tear ducts and to understand those emotions and not necessarily bottle them in. I don't know.
They'll come out somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know how healthy it is. It's like, it's a good cry. Like sometimes people yell and they want to get things out or they draw. Like I want them to be able to express and be expressive. So I've definitely let them see me cry. I mean, sometimes I'm feeling it right now. Man, I just love my kids so much, man.
Let's go to the comment section here. We'll break it up and then come back to some different news. Hey, man. All right.
I woke up this morning. I had both kids in the bed with me. They had nightmares, and it was just like, and they're holding on to me, and I'm just the luckiest dude on the planet, man.
You want to play a song? You want to play a song in a second?
No, I'll bust out crying if I do.
Okay. All right. Let's forge on then. Geez. By the way, you and I getting emotional have got some of our highest ratings that we've seen to date. We've had a solid 16, 17, 18 people watching the entire time.
Watching us cry. Grown men. It's not big girls don't cry. It's grown men. They cry.
So do you know what this is? Michael says, my sons were blocked from their loving fit dad because of Title 4D corruption. You should do a show on this topic. Do you know what, does that sound familiar?
I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah, see what that, if you don't mind, see what that is. And while you're looking that up, I've got something for us, Chris, to do. And it's axe throwing. Have you done any axe throwing?
No.
At all?
I would love to, man.
So I guess this is a new right now, and it's I guess it's popping up here and there around the country, and it's hit the Bay Area, and this is axe throwing at bars, which I want to talk to somebody about this because Adam goes, this is better than The View. Screw you, Adam.
Wait, child support. It's a child support deal.
Okay.
First, the Title IV Social Security Act 1975 covers grants to states for the purpose of providing aid and services to needy family with children. Cases where the custodial parent is receiving some sort of assistance from the Office of Child Support Enforcement. This may include locating the non-custodial parent. All right.
Are you feeling it because it's just all legalese to me as it's hitting my brain?
Yeah,
you know what this
I'm
is
trying
about?
to see establish and maintain privately, such as following a divorce. Some non-4 cases become D cases when they are referred to the Office of Child Support Enforcement in an attempt to collect outstanding and unpaid child support.
All right, so that's what that guy's going through right now.
Is that? If you could please let us know.
Is
that's what you're talking about?
And I'm sorry, man.
That's not cool.
It's interesting too. You bring that up, Michael. Over the years, I've been approached by quite a few people that say that I should do a podcast or do a show on this very same thing and how men are treated. Fathers are treated in the state of Florida compared to mothers, and I don't know anything about that stuff. I've never been, had any children, have to go through any of that kind of stuff, but I know that there are a lot of guys out there that feel like they've been wronged by the system over the.
Okay, so I'm going to say this to everybody. After July 30th, we will discuss this at length.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
All right, we'll leave it at that. So, Chris,
y'all know me. Just. We'll leave it at that.
All right. So
you're not alone.
We'll
talk about it.
Turn your attention now to the monitor to your left, sir. And you and I needed to go do some axe throwing.
I'll be outside the one. That's awesome.
We need to do some axe throwing.
Oh, we need to.
On International Axe Throwing Day, which is
St. Pete
today.
Oh, God, what?
This is the St. Pete Axe and Ale establishment setting to celebrate its grand opening. You can head to Ferg's in St. Pete to try out this trendy sport for free tonight.
We are going.
The event will feature axe throwing enthusiasts from around the globe.
Chris, we are going. Listen, everyone, we're going to do this. Chris, you got to do this. We're going to do it. We're going to record it. We're going to film it. We're going to show us throwing axes, and we'll show it tomorrow. This is great.
So there's going to be drink specials. Throwers must be at least 18. You have to be wearing toe shoes and sign a waiver. If you want to check out the Axe and Ale another time, you can reserve a lane, kind of like bowling, for $60 an hour.
Wait, how many? 60 or 16?
60.
I was going to say 16 sounds weird.
But if you say you can have 4, 6, 8 people.
Wait, so you, me, and Cords tonight all throwing $20, and we're gonna throw axes.
We'll call Torres. Let's call Torres.
Yes. No, all the Bake More Pies dads for Father's Day week.
Mike, you're in.
You have dogs, so that still counts. So that's what we'll do. That sounds great.
So now or pay $10 per game of 10 throws plus 2 practice throws. So. A buddy of mine did this at the Renaissance Fair a couple years back, and I could not believe how much fun it was. and like how manly I felt afterwards. I didn't cry afterwards, Chris.
Are you crying right now about doing it?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Because that's okay if you are. We talked about that already, but that would be a new, I'd be like, man, crying over throwing an axe? That's kind of. Wait. So can we all take a little jig of that, whatever you got going on, and see how.
All right, hold on. Here let's get back to the comments. Okay, so Michael says it's complicated to text this. You're right, Michael. Don't worry about it because I've heard these stories from so many guys over the years.
After July 30th, you heard me say it. I'm gonna talk about. Well, we'll see. Just after July 30th, you guys know it's interesting going on in the McCarty house.
Let's see here. Chords have Joran Jenkins on the show. Joran Jenkins, that is
an attorney, and that is.
Awesome.
This is just
amazing.
Don't.
That's cool.
We will have Joran Jenkins on the show.
Yes, after July.
Absolutely.
Later on in the summer. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man, I don't want to just throw this out there willy nilly, but
you mean axe toss it?
Axe toss this.
When I axe this, toss this up. But go ahead.
Because I haven't done my research on these podcasts, because I would imagine there's probably a handful of podcasts that are talking directly to men about these kinds of issues. Mm-hmm. But with some of the things that you and I know this would probably be bumped down the list a little bit. We've got a couple other things to get up and running. Mm-hmm. But maybe this is one of those podcasts that you and I put together, maybe focus on the end of summer or end of the year.
I think it would be a good thing. The fact that he said that. So I was in New York. It's like, oh my gosh, like almost 10 years ago. And the woman that I was engaged to at the time, her family is a huge, close, tight-knit family. And the way they used to do is they used to have men's meetings. Now, these guys all grew up in the same spot in Brooklyn, so they all knew each other from like youth. But it was great because it was a spot where, bring some food and dudes would discuss what's going on in their minds. And then they didn't talk about it afterwards. It wasn't some gossipy thing, but it was like, hey, men need to have a spot where they can really talk about some issues and hear other men give advice. And I mean, it got heated, not like anyone debating with each other, but you'd see dudes who are having problems with their relationships and be like, and she's doing this, and guys is being like, yo, man, it's on you, kid. Like, you know what I mean? So I think this is actually a really good time, an idea, maybe once a week or whatever. We have a couple dudes. And we
go throw hatchets?
Man, I wish that would have been
twice
awesome.
a week.
That would have been awesome. But yeah, I think it's a great idea, Chris. I think it's a great idea. We should do that.
So,
I would love to have we have women as well, and then they can ask questions and ask a dude. I'll tell you what I think.
Cords is saying, yeah, we need to do that. We need to get that up and running. All right, Cords is saying that for $60 we can buy 2 hatchets, and you have plenty of scrap wood in the back, and we can just go throw axes back here and tape that. Great idea. Way to save some money, too.
I love it, Cords. You see? Did I tell you? He's got all the answers.
Steve, axes and drunk people.
That's why they tell you to sign a waiver before you throw anything.
My uncle says take a first aid kit.
Hey.
Michael says Chris is awesome.
Thank you, brother. You're awesome.
Also, Jorn, that lawyer, will be here on Friday. We'll be here at the office on Friday.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
And let's see, during lunch, Cord says, and Steve says, we are getting ready to do a theology on tap for guys to sit and discuss real life things over beers. Should be cool. Oh, so Steve, you're going to start up your own theology on tap. All right, well, that nicks one of the ideas that you and I came up with last week, Chris.
But what if we did, the on tap?
Well, how funny is
it? Depressing. Where everyone would be sad.
No, you're sitting around. You're sitting around drinking beers, talking about the universe and God. And
I like that idea. Dude, I think we should all just get together, man. Let's get together, let's figure it out.
Yeah, Steve. Steve, let us know if how far along. If that's just in the idea, because it's a great idea.
We were talking about it. That's why it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Development is a whole different thing. So let us know if you need a hand or any kind of advice with that, or some guests. Because that, was it just yesterday? I was like, Chris, I want to do a podcast where I don't even want to be on it. I want to be like the director producer.
You were, yesterday.
It's going to be all about Chris McCarty and the things that make you, music and your attachment to God. So you get to
sports.
And sports.
Yeah.
He threw that in. And sports.
And, weightlifting and nutrition and all that stuff.
All right. So,
yeah.
Steve goes, could plug it in together. Not only sad things, religion, universe, work, creating a brotherhood to get stronger.
Man. Yeah, life stuff.
Good it doesn't have to be, we're at the end times, and if you're not doing this, rah, 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 rah.
Yeah. Ladies who are watching, would you guys like to have a little forum like that here with us? Maybe have because this is what I'll say. All right, so historically, ladies, Chris is on your side. That dude is quick to be like, and men, all his brothers, uncles, they'll tell you this is what he does. Now, me, I'm on your side as well. I have a baby girl. I love women. I'm just more real, like, hey, ladies, this is what I think you should pay attention to. And I give lots of advice to a lot of my girlfriends, and they love it, and they tell their other girlfriends to talk to me. So, you know, just I think if you guys want to have little conversations, we should do that.
Well, here's, you know, on the top, what's on the top of the board there? Format TWDS, right?
Yes. What does that mean?
Because we need a
the
format.
Wake.Show. Gotcha.
That's us. Yeah, we got to get some stuff on paper. Structure.
Yes. C2.
We got to get some stuff on paper, and this is one of the things that he and I've been talking about, which is loosely called Chris's Cupid's Corner. It was only to get this is a working title. We'll come up with something better.
Yeah.
But I know Chris is very passionate about relationship advice, and so I'd love for us to do something like that. We're feeding him scenarios and questions and letting Chris do what Chris does.
Hey man, I'm born on Valentine's Day, so I'm all about the love.
Your daughter's Valentina,
and you know, and I get it, man. I know what's going on. I've been married, been divorced, so I know what works, what doesn't work. I understand the human psyche, and I'm different because I'm a man who's, when I say I'm like a girl, I mean because of my profession and being on stage, and that talent is an aphrodisiac. I get hit on more than a lot of my guy friends.
Get out of here! Like, get out of here!
Just because of this, man, it's nothing else. It's this, and so, but I understand. I understand that it's just a little different. Like I say no, and girls say no, so I kind of. Just you'll see what I'm talking about, man. It'll be good.
Right.
You know, it'll be good. Ask a question now. I'll give you what you want to hear. Go ahead.
John says, "Yeah, try God. Got nothing to lose." And goes on to say, "He saved my life."
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So
God
axe throwing
life.
Axe throwing tonight.
I can't wait.
This is kind of a cool story here as well. Hold on a second, please. Yeah, this is kind of a cool story here, and this is really the last of the stories that I brought in today. And that is Domino's. What a great promotion / way to give back to a community. The answer to a city's pothole problem may be Domino's Pizza. Ooh, how did I make that happen? There we go. The company says potholes and other poor road conditions can put pizza deliveries at risk, and they want to do their own part to help with the problem. So they released a statement. Potholes, cracks, and bumps in the road can cause irreversible damage to your pizza during the drive home from Domino's. We can't stand by and let your cheese slide to one side, your toppings get untopped, or your boxes get flipped. So we're helping to pave in towns across the country to save your good pizza from these bad roads. Signed, Domino's.
That's really cool.
So yeah, so this is the promotion they're doing. The company's asking customers to nominate their town or city for pothole repairs at pavingforpizza.com. By the way, this is not paid. This is not paid. This is me just bringing this up. The company's asking customers to go to pavingforpizza.com. If your community is picked, Domino's will donate some funds to help with road repairs. You can visit da-da-da-da.
All right, Cords, what can we do that's like that, similar to that, we can help out with the community? Here we go, waiting for Cords.
We're going to do it. This is the kind of stuff we've been talking about, and it's about getting the right people together with the right resources and
the right state of mind, the right intentions.
We've got them.
Relatively speaking, right?
So then it's up to us to come up with something clever, something cool, something fun that and then they'll go, we love it. Count
Bring it
us
on.
In. So what are we going to do?
Music. Ding.
There we go. Music. Let's see. Music paves the way. What? Ow! Whoa!
Music knocks over crap.
Music.
No, I like that. Music paves the way.
Music paves the way. Something like that.
Well, that would mean us paving things. Oops. Wait, I don't even know what I'm going to play. Let me think for a second. Ooh.
Oh, guess what, Chris?
What's up?
Cords has unveiled Tampa Bay Influential. We'll put a link there.
What?
Hold on. Let's see where it goes. Let's see where it goes.
He's not playing.
All right, it's going to a Facebook page. Well, I just want to see what he has. Obviously, if he's put it up, Tampa. Oh, that looks nice. Let me throw up the screenshot for you guys here.
fancy.
Let's see. I'm gonna do. Whoa, whoops, not that one.
These days they come and go. Sometimes your heart might fill with sorrow, but there's one thing we all should know.
All right, so here it is.
Tomorrow is a new day. We'll be singing and dancing till sunlight goes away. Then when night falls, that's when I'll be looking inside my heart to be the man I wanna be. Oh no.
All right, so he hasn't put anything up there about what it is. So he's just reserved the page, but that's good.
See,
so we'll leave it.
That means it's starting.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that for now.
That old chord.
But that's what we were talking about with that Tampa Bay influential, though.
Yeah.
Is that kind of thing. So grabbing these people in the Bay Area that of high influence and affluence, and then pairing them up with the right projects, and then doing what we do from there. Yeah,
change and being the bridge and bringing people together. Like just the same thing with the men's meeting, man. I think, you know what, Chris? You know what sounds really cool and feels really good? Just you've been in here for so many years, and I've been here for so many years, and we know so many people. It's like I like the idea that whatever energy has brought us together to bring more people together instead of apart. Thank you, Michael, for the idea of doing the men's meeting and just all that. We just want to get it together. I like that. I'm glad that we're doing this together. And thanks, Chords, for making it possible too.
Yep. And you hear me talk a lot about building community with this, with this show, and there's a reason. It's not build community just to build community, but it's build community. So we go to we can have an effect on our not just this show, not just Chris and I can say stuff. And, and whatever, and it just goes out there and goes nowhere. But we can also go, hey, man, there's this thing going on. We can get behind it. We can offer this kind of support. And not only that, but then we've got this community behind us as well that we can mobilize, when
strengthening our community, man. I mean, I know when people talk about the old times and community was everything. I mean, that's one thing I noticed when I was in Hawaii, man, that the community really got together. And the fact that I just told a story about, when Ernest died and how everyone finished building his house for his family, that kind of love, I think it's still in us all. And I think it's going to be great that we'll be able to pull it together, man, and help it out.
All right. Well, before Chris plays, I want to plug the Wake.Pup.
Plug.
I want to plug the Wake.Pups.
Did your wife just text you and say, "Don't forget about the pups"?
Like 30 minutes ago. So here's the Wake.Pups, and this is our new bed, Chris. We finally have a bedroom set. We're a married couple, and finally now have a bed.
Steps for the cat.
No, well that's the old.
Cute, man.
This is the funny thing. This is the old steps, right?
That bed looks comfy.
It is. And it's a king.
No wonder you have a hard time getting out of bed, bro. I have a hard time like that too.
Actually, I've been getting out of bed a little bit better with this new bed.
Maybe it's the medicine as well. Hey, you just seem like a lot. Again, so here we are, guys. He just seems happier and happier every day. I love it, man.
Getting there. Slowly but surely. So the Wake.Pups, Mom and Dad got me a new bed over the weekend, and it's way too tall for me. I used to get right up these steps and onto my bed, but now I can't reach them. But with a little help, I can get up there. As you can see, I tested the bed. All right, so now we got to move on. So as you can see, I tested the bed, and I like it. I'm so glad Mom and Dad finally realized that this princess deserves a king bed. And the final pick there.
She is cute.
Instagram, the Wake.Pups to follow along. Thank you, honey, for reminding me. All right. I feel like there was one more thing, but maybe not. We're good. Mr. McCarty.
Yeah, man. I was debating to play a song called Timing is Everything, which I played before, but I haven't played it in a while, or a song called Tomorrow. So, Chris, what do you think? So, tomorrow's basically about, everything is rough, and at this point, and you're like, man, what are we going to do? And then you realize there's always another day. And then you've got Timing's Everything, which talks about just, how everything really, the fact, it's just timing's everything. It sums it up. So do you want to flip a coin or do you want to call it? Which one do you want?
Let's go with the first one.
Tomorrow?
All right, tomorrow.
Spend my days looking out the window, thinking of a future I might never see. Spend my nights looking out for people that might not look out for me. Where's my mother when I need her? And I know my father's at home. There must be some sort of reason that we have to walk alone. But tomorrow is a new day. We'll be singing and dancing till sunlight goes away. Then when night falls, that's when I'll be looking inside my heart to be the man I wanna be. Spend my days looking out the window, thinking of a future I might never see. Spend my nights looking out for people that might not look out for me. Every night we're getting older, and these days they come and go. Sometimes your heart might fill with sorrow, but there's one thing we all should know, is that tomorrow is a new day. We'll be singing and dancing till sunlight goes away. Then when night falls, that's when I'll be looking inside my heart to be the man I wanna be. Tomorrow is a new day. We'll be singing and dancing till the sunlight goes away. Then when night falls, that's when I'll be looking inside my heart to be the man I wanna be. Oh no. Tomorrow.
Well done.
Yeah, man.
There we go. And let's go with...
oh, whoops. I'm supposed to change the light.
oh, that's all right.
Yeah, it's all good.
Darkness.
Darknesses.
I forget, are you off all this week?
Yes, thank you, God.
That's right. Tonight, you guys can join me at Park and Rec downtown St. Pete after I do some axe throwing. Do some axe throwing first and then head out.
I want to know if Cords was serious about us throwing axes here.
Dude, what do you think? What do you think?
I mean, I think he was serious, but I want, because I'm trying to do this tonight. And I want us to record it. I want us to film it. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure you see what he's talking about.
Well, you and I will talk after the show, because if it works out, let's do both. You know, if we can go down there and maybe even talk them into letting us do this for free to tape it for our show.
That'd be cool. Look at you. Look at that. I see. I like you. How you working, brother?
We'll try.
What time is it again?
5 to 10.
No, I dropped the kids off at 5 o'clock, so this is actually just going to work.
Okay. This is
7 or 8 when traffic kind of dies down.
This is actually going to work.
I like how you did that.
Should I axe you again?
See how you did that? That was good.
That was not. That was the opposite of good.
I liked it. I thought it was funny.
All right, so tonight I'll be out at karaoke 8 to 10. I'm sorry, 8 to midnight. 8 to midnight. That is Park and Rec downtown St. Pete. You want to
Wait,
come
how
by?
are you supposed to do it if you're going to be doing that?
Well, I would have to go early, like the 5. Okay. Like 6 o'clock.
Okay.
I don't have to start setting up till like 7:15.
Okay. Well, that means we have to. I'll drop the kids off and then we'll go.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Figure that out. and then tomorrow night, tomorrow night you guys can join Shriner. Now, normally I'm out at Masteries on Thursdays doing trivia from 7 until like 8:30, 9 o'clock. But I'm going to Jack's Mannequin, or next. I can't even believe I said that. Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness is in town on Thursday night in Ybor City at the Ritz or whatever. Is it yeah, it's the Ritz again. And
I need you to do that whole thing over again. I got confused.
All right, here we go.
Where you going?
So, Tomorrow night at Masteries, you can join my good friend Schreiner, Kurt Schreiner. He's awesome at trivia. Have a good time doing that. The reason I will not be there is because my wife and I will be at a concert. Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness is in town, or will be in town, and this was the show that my wife and I got together at 7 years ago. He was in Ybor City, and my wife devised a plan to get us together that night that I did everything I could to thwart, like getting hammered. And but we ended up getting together anyway. And so the next thing you know, I proposed to her at one of his shows in Chicago a few years, 4 years later, 5 years later. And so he's back in town.
I love how he didn't tell the whole story. I got the whole skinny on the story, but we'll do it next at the meeting. At the meeting, it was funny.
What?
The way that you asked the whole story. She told me the story of like when you guys were in Chicago and like you asked this lady to take the pictures. Like, what are you doing? You proposing?
do you think that's worth telling right now? Might as well.
I mean,
okay, just real quickly. It's a cute story, but I don't know if it's really worth this. But what Chris is referring to is when we went to Chicago and I was going to propose to my wife. She had no idea whatsoever, absolutely no idea. Her BFF Jesse helped me pick out a ring. And by the way, my uncle, much applause. And Sharon says, "Love the song, Chris."
Thank you, Sharon.
I'm so nervous, absolutely so nervous, where I'm going to propose. He does an 11/11 show every single year to benefit the Dear Jack Foundation, which is an amazing organization. So I know this guy. I know Andrew McMahon. I've known him, going back to the 97X days in the early 2000s. So we're at this show, and I almost proposed while we were in line, and I'm glad I did not. So we get in, we find our little place at the Chicago House of Blues. And I'm ready. I'm like, all right, here we go. I grab the ring's been in my pocket. I'm trying not to lose it. My hands constantly.
You just see him freaking out, right? You can see him be like,
I was so nervous, Chris, because I spent a good chunk of change on this thing. I dipped into my 401k to buy my wife's wedding engagement ring. And so
you made your future her future.
That's right.
Like that.
I invested in her. I feel like my ROI on my wife would be much better than my 401k. So it's happening. It's finally happening. This moment that's been building. And I turn to her to get down on a knee. And as soon as I turn to do it, she walks away. Like, boop, 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 boop. I'm like, what the? And like, I'm building for this moment. And all of a sudden it's just, taken right out from under me. And I turn around and she's back at this table filling out paperwork for the Dear Jack Foundation so she can be a donor herself of bone marrow, I think, and stuff like that. So I can't get upset. She's doing good for the world. But it takes like 10 or 15 minutes for her to go through this whole conversation and fill out everything, and they have to swab her cheek and all that. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is torturous. So she finally comes walking back over to where we're going to stand and watch this show all night. And the woman comes back over and goes, "Oh, can I get a picture in front of our sign, for the website and this and this and this?" Sure. And I hand the woman my phone and go, "When you're done, could you take a picture of us?" She, "Oh yeah, no problem." So we're sitting there posing, and we're trying to pose, and I keep looking at my wife, going, and talking. So I say something like this. "So we've been coming to see Andrew together for a long time now." She goes, "Yeah." She's like this, trying to pose for the picture for the other person. Yeah, I know. And I go, I'd like to, something to the effect of, "I'd like to go see him with you for the rest of my life." And she's like, "Okay." And then she turns and she goes, what are you proposing? And so at that time, I go ahead and drop on my knee, and she just is looking at me like this, like her head's not moving up or down, just kind of like in shock of what's going on. And so I get down on one knee and I propose, and the woman, I can hear her saying, going, "Is this happening? Is this happening?" But right before that, she was yelling at me. My now wife was yelling at me because she thought I was wasting this other woman's time. Like, hey, she's got to get back to the, do her thing. She's got a charity to run over here. Quit dicking around and wasting her time. So so those women's going, "Is this happening? Is this really happening?" And she's taking pictures. So she gets some pictures, sends them to me. I send them to Andrew backstage, the guy that's coming on stage. And at the time, I think this was Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness, I believe. But he was putting together Jack's mannequin for that show. Sorry, I digress. So I sent him the picture for me proposing, and he comes out and he's going to play one of his albums from front to back, from beginning to end, one of those kind of shows.
And it's her favorite album.
It's her favorite album of all time. They're doing it acoustically. He's bringing back old members from bands that he hasn't seen, she hasn't seen up on stage with him in a long time. So this is just a great night. So he gets to the very last song of the album, and right as he's going into it, he says, but first I'd like to congratulate my good friend Chris for getting engaged tonight. And, people cheer, and he goes into the song. And I leaned over to my wife, and I go, he forgot your name. But anyway, so that was the night. That was the night she and I got engaged in Chicago. Next thing you know, we're wandering the streets of Chicago, lost. We can't even figure out how to get up to the streets because there's like some weird alleyway things where there's nothing but dumpsters. And she's sitting there looking at this giant ring that I got her, right, as we're walking down the streets at 2 o'clock in the morning with nobody around in Chicago. I'm a Florida boy. All I know of Chicago is what's coming out of the news every single day. What's coming out of the news every single day in Chicago? Murders. Like, there's gun violence everywhere. As a matter of fact, even that day when I was there, I was up, just posting stuff on Facebook, and my friends are commenting, "Oh, I'm surprised you haven't been shot. You're still alive. Have you heard gunfire?"
Don't say that about Chicago.
Right.
People.
It was beautiful. But anyway, so that's the story of that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to my aimless rambling as I retold the story of the engagement to my wife. Chris, you have a great night, or I'll see you in a couple hours. Then we'll go throw some axes together. Grr. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. And on Friday show, a couple of announcements real quickly. I'm sorry, I'm rambling again. On Friday, three dads in a minivan will be here, so we're going to have to break out the couch on Friday. 3 dads in a minivan. That is Ed Gruby, Third Leg Greg, and I can't remember the third guy's name, but anyway, if you track down their videos, they're hilarious. I got to show one to you.
Cool.
It's awesome.
Jordan's going to be here on Friday apparently as well.
Who?
Jordan.
Jenkins. Okay, all right. I don't know if we have him in studio, though. Her in studio, then. We'll see. Otherwise, it's going to be a packed show. And then on Monday, ladies and gentlemen, my guest co-host on Monday is Danielle McBroom from Magic 94.9. And Danielle going way back, and she started off as an intern on my show at 97X, along with Seth Kushner, went on to become a producer on the show, became the only personality at that radio station for a while, and now is the morning show host at Magic 94.9. So it's going to be nice to see her and have her in guest co-hosting on next Monday. Have a great day. Be good to yourself. Be kind to your fellow man, and we will see you soon.